underrated horror books you should be reading this autumn, starting with Sealed by Naomi Booth. This is a sort of apocalyptic horror novel set during increasing numbers of this strange and potentially deadly disease rising across the world, which causes people's skin to seal over in places like their mouth and their nose and their eyes, etc. And our protagonist is a newly pregnant woman who is dealing with how exactly she feels about that pregnancy while also growing more and more paranoid about this disease. And thanks to her background in journalism, she's just not quite convinced that the sort of world leaders are telling them everything they need to know about it. It's claustrophobic and compelling, and there is so much depth to the character and her experience. Taktumi is an anthology of Arctic horror stories. So this is, well, it's short stories, that's pretty self-explanatory, all by different authors. So you get a real mix of the kinds of horror in this book, the writing styles, and I really enjoy that as a reading experience when it comes to short stories, because it keeps you on your toes, and each writer is incredible in their own unique way. I love a horror anthology because it can often introduce me to new authors I haven't checked out before, and I think like the landscape and the setting and the backdrop of the Arctic really adds to the haunting atmosphere of these stories. The Beauty by Elia Whitley is a dystopian story in which there are no more women. There are only men, and we're on the last generation of men, and that means that humanity is essentially dying out. Except that from the graves of the last women, these strange fungus mushrooms are growing and things take a slightly unnerving twist. This is quite a disturbing book, I have to say. I can eat mushrooms for months after this, and I'm a vegetarian, so that was really difficult. But the author has that beautiful, eerie writing style that I love in my horror, and it's a book that you cannot look away from. Then lastly, we have a young adult horror, which is There's No Way I'd Die First, which is a young adult slasher. So, you know, if you like your slasher films or books like Scream, then this is the book for you. It's set during one night when our protagonist is hosting a Halloween horror fest with her friends, and she hires some live entertainment in the form of a creepy clown, except that clown ends up being a lot creepier than she paid him to be. And it's just, you know, like that kind of who did it, who's involved, who's not involved, everybody's secrets coming out, unraveling mystery where you just like can't put it down. But yeah, those are some of my favourite underhyped horror books. I'd love to know if you think there are any horror books out there that don't get enough love and praise and what they are.